Hello everyone, and welcome back to my summer reading vlog. My name is We13, and today is the 12th of June, 2013. Oh, and here's my novel. When we last left Tempe and her cohorts, they were tracking down Jean-Marc St. Jacques to his apartment, but as soon as they found him, he bolted out into the streets. Now, at the beginning of chapter 11, which is where I started my reading, they were following him into the sea of people that was the St. Jean-Baptiste Day Parade. While Tempe went into the mob to try to find him, she ended up getting a bruised cheek in the process after falling down. Unfortunately, St. Jacques ran away and was not found since. However, the team head back to his apartment and find lots of things, including several piles of newspaper clippings and a map of Montreal with several marks on them. To be specific, 3 X's. One where Margaret Atkins lived, one where Chantal Trottier lived, and a 3rd X on the Isle of Saint-Lambert, which had no significance whatsoever to the case thus far. However, while Tempe was trying to work on the case, Claudel ended up having a lot of bones to pick with her, and so to try to one-up him, Tempe decided to examine the bones to see what she could find. Now, after a long monologue of Tempe explaining to Detective Ryan that they're about saws and how they played into the bones of the deceased women, she decided to, at night, try to find the X on Saint-Lambert. And note, at night. She decided to go sleuthing at night. Not exactly the wisest choice to do, but she did it anyways. Well, it turns out that that X happened to be an old abandoned monastery owned by the Archdiocese of Montreal. So, Tempe decided to go into the grounds of the monastery and try to see what she could find. Now, on the grounds of the monastery was a forest, and Tempe decided to walk through the forest, which was really interesting because, as I said, it was dark. And Tempe ended up getting really paranoid, especially when she thought that someone was following her. This turned out to be true, as she ended up getting a bump on her head and knocking unconscious. When she awoke, she ended up dizzy, but also smelling rotting flesh in the earth next to her. This led to her calling Detective Ryan at 4 in the morning and convincing him that there was a body on the grounds of the monastery. Now, at the end of the section, Ryan does heed Tempe's word, and all of the main people end up at the monastery, along with the current, Archbishop, who came to the grounds in search of the body. Now, the way that they found the body was because Tempe had been on a trail. Thankfully, the forest had trails, and had actually left some clues, specifically gloves, on certain trees, much like Hansel and Gretel's crumbs, on some of the trees, that led her to the mound of earth that was another bag filled with the body of another person. And that is how chapter 16 ends off, which is how far I got into the book. I can't remember what percentage that is. I figured it out. It was somewhere around 40%, I want to say. But I don't know. One thing that I wanted to talk about before I end off this video is Tempe herself. There's a lot of interesting connection between her and her TV counterpart, played by Emily Deschanel in Bones. Specifically, differences. The Tempe in this book seems to be a lot more open. She's definitely more, what's the word? She's more, well, to reuse a word, open to new experiences, to living by herself, to actually getting married, as it says in the book, to making lots of friends, or not lots of friends, mainly just one friend in Gabby from school, and from being in a country where she does not know the language a lot, as well as being, as she said upon entering the abandoned monastery, that she is Catholic, whereas the Tempe in the TV series is very narrow-minded, very, just learned about this, very natural, very, although natural in a natural law sense, with using logic to explain the world around her, which, as well as being quite atheist as opposed to her Catholic counterpart in the book, even to the point of being maybe anti-theist. But I think it's really interesting how Fox played off of this character, particularly in the fact that there's so much difference, possibly because it's an American audience and it's a TV audience as opposed to a literary audience in this book. But I think it's interesting to see that difference and what that difference might hold. So I wonder if I'm going to see any more difference in the rest of this book, and I will definitely keep you posted if I see any difference. And by keep you posted, I mean talk about it in future vlogs. And that is about it. Thank you for watching this, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye!